Welcome back, everyone. We're having a look at the Izzet Drake's deck today. And I don't know what you think about this deck, or if you've seen this deck. You probably have seen this deck, unless you've been living under a rock for the last, I don't know, month or so. Or unless you haven't played the arena at least a single time, because this is probably the first thing you're gonna queue into. Maybe not this version, you're gonna, queue into the starter deck version that's a bit shittier, that doesn't have the Arclight Phoenixes and have some more Electromancers and stuff like that. But at some point you're gonna end up with something like this. Of course, as I said in the earlier videos as well, different lists, they run different amounts. Some decks run more Fairy Cannonades, some run, does skip this card here. Especially if you don't have Phoenixes, you don't need Tormenting Voice. It's not a especially good card. The deck is mostly cantrips and things which are good with cantrips, such as Enigma Drake and Crackling Drake, which power is equal to the number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Crackling Drake also gets affected by stuff in exile that's almost never relevant. But if you're, I don't know, paper magic player and you need to keep track of that by hand, then, well, now you know. Also draws you a card. We have the, big Papa Niv-Mizzet, which everyone probably hates to see on the other side of the board, and you love to see if you play this deck, because you're quite likely gonna kill your opponent. If you get this down, you're gonna deal all 20 damage or close to 20 damage if you untap with this. It's like a win with this in hand, and because you can just cycle through your cantrips and maybe do a few shocks to face, and boom, that's 20 damage. Other than that, there's not too much to the deck. It's not that really what I would call a clever deck in any way. It's just all the cantrips and things that get buffed by cantrips in a deck. There's some things here that, like a Search for a Scanta, but that's just because we're running blue and non-creature spells. It has no other synergy with the deck. Fairy Cannonade just to deal with the creatures, and there's no, of course, pirates. This is a Goblin Wizard, so it's even like an anti-combo with this, because it kills your own Electromancer. Doesn't kill your Drakes. Yeah, there's not too much to this deck. Of course, there's a lot of ways to pitch things to get the Phoenix in the graveyard. You can pitch them to Radical Idea, you can pitch them to Tormenting Voice, or to Chart a Course. But that's about it. Protect with Dive Down. Simple list. Let's have a look at how you could change this list. It won't make it better. I'm not gonna claim that you will get a best tier 1 list if you do this, but you can have a look at what we can change here. What I would change is, I would just to spice things up again. Add incubation incongruity. You would need to spice. Add some green is what I'm trying to say. You would need to add some green into the deck, but if you do, you have the ability to get a replacement for Opt, which I think is such a shit card. And you can get this instead. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature from among them, put that card into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You're most likely looking for this card anyway, because this card is what makes the Drake's deck good, in my opinion. It's such a rare thing to have a creature which just hastes and comes back from the graveyard, that this is the shit. This is what you're looking for anyway. So you just want to run these and look for Arclight Phoenixes. I can't talk today. Arclight Phoenixes. Anyway, and then Pteramander. Pteramander, you might seen this if you've seen the spoilers. It's a 1/1 flying creature, adapt 4 for a gazillion mana, but it costs 1 less for every instance and sorcery card in your graveyard. So fits well into the kind of brain dead instants and sorcery deck. I know I'm being harsh here. But yeah, might work. Unfortunately, RNA, in my opinion, didn't bring too much to the existing decks. They didn't change too much that I've seen so far. But we'll see. We're still early. We haven't figured everything out. There's still good cards like Growth Spiral and Green Enchantment, whatever it's called, that untaps all your lands. Anyways, moving on. I start rambling here. This is my new deck list that I come up with. No, just kidding. This is just a series of cards that represent things that are goods against the Drake's archetype. You can discard their cards, works pretty good. They don't have anything ways to deal with that, and they need to chain 3 cantrips to do anything worthwhile. Adanto Vanguard. You could, of course, argue that why are you discarding their instants and sorceries? You're just making their drakes bigger, but no. In all seriousness, it's a good strategy against them. Adanto Vanguard. Pay for life, gain indestructible. If you can gain indestructible, it's pretty good against the Drake's deck. Also being fast and white. You know, a fast white deck can deal with them while they're just sorting through their nonsense of opts. Another good card, if you're a black mage, you can do this. You can play Phylactery Lich. They can't deal with artifacts. They can't deal with indestructible. GG, easy win, maybe, I don't know. Negate, everything is non-creature, so obviously I need to mention this. Root Snare, they have no good way of interacting with any combo or any, you know, Turbo Fog nonsense. Cindervines is just, I think, a kind of a hoser card made to deal with them. All their cantrips become shit because they take 1 damage whenever they play them. Combine this with anything aggressive or, you know, have burn deck like a, I don't know, mono red, splash green for Cindervines. Gonna beat Drakes every time. Moving on, Blanchwood Armor. Very good with a mono green deck. No, this is just to gain more toughness that they can deal with. They need to stack a lot of removal to deal with high toughness stuff, so if you have anything high toughness, Galta or Blanchwood Armor, GG. Vinemares, Hexproof, they have no way to deal with Hexproofers. I have a deck with Hexproof and Lifelink enchantments. Yeah, that's good against them. Nullhide Ferox combines 2 things I said were really good against them, high toughness and Hexproof. Wilderness Reclamation, can't deal with enchantments, have no way to really interact with combo decks usually. They can bring in counter spells after sideboarding, but that's about it. And Planeswalkers. Yeah, they had the Phoenixes, but except for that, the lousy Shock is not gonna kill, you know, the hero of Dominaria. Are you kidding me? No, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, that's my choices. That's my, how should I say, my selection for destroying them. Yeah, that's a very bad way of putting it. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you next time.